Hey everyone, here for another dating advice video. Also wanted to mention that sometimes I go live. You should check out Instagram. I actually am streaming this dating advice video live on Instagram. You check me out at Hex of Spades on Instagram. I have some people checking me out. Hi, people in the Instagram world. And you guys had posted questions in my first video, as I'd asked you to, which you can also do for this video if I don't get to a question. Again, you guys ask a lot of questions, some of them great, some of them I'm not sure how to answer yet, some of them bad. So if I don't get to your question, please feel free to ask it again, because I look at them all and it's just what I get to in the video and what I feel I can respond to at that time. So I'd asked Instagram, and I have, when I turn over here, I'll be looking at the YouTube comments and things. So let's go with this question right here. I often use dating sites, and I like to engage in conversation via texting before actually meeting someone. My question is, how long should I wait before going on a date with a person I met online? That can be very tricky. I personally think you want to try to really keep the momentum going before the conversations kind of die, because conversations you have in text form via messaging or text message or however you're doing it through an internet thing or an app, they're a lot slower than back and forth. Everything I've just said would probably take 5 minutes to message, and I said it in like 10 seconds. So when you actually meet up, that conversation that you have for maybe an hour is so much more that you can back and forth you can have, and there's the the faces people make, and there's the inflections they make when they say stuff, that it's so much more alive, that I think it's actually really important to meet up sooner rather than later, especially if you're getting a good vibe from the messaging. If you're not getting a good vibe from that, maybe also still meet up, because maybe they're better at personal interaction. But you want to do something that's in your comfort zone. So that's where the tricky part is, meeting up. And I believe I stressed this before, meeting up in a public place, somewhere about, somewhere that's, got people around, not just a public place that's empty, so that there's things being safe and everything. I think personally, if you message too much, you can kind of lose that. You're not in the Civil War, you're not writing love letters to each other. I think that's fun. I love to do that. I think there's a time and a place. But I think meeting up with the person in the form that you want to have the relationship, it's important to do that sooner rather than later. So I would say if you have a good vibe going with someone within a week, absolutely. Even the same day. I've met up with people, messaged them, same day, met up. Because you gotta go for it. You gotta find out what kind of person they are when interacting. Let's see what we have on when I reached out to Instagram. How do I get a goth boyfriend? Instagram. Well, think about what you want out of a goth boyfriend and start going to those places, doing those things. Maybe even just find them on Instagram. If you see someone that has a look or makeup you like, and just talk to them and hit them up. If that's what's important to you, I think that's what you should look at. Like, what is it about a goth boyfriend that connects for you so much that it draws you, and just pursue that in every way you can. Let's see what YouTube has again here. What do you think about a date where the food was made by the person and then you just meet up somewhere and eat and talk? So one of you makes food and then you have like a picnic. Yeah, that's what that's called. It's a picnic. That's a date. I think that's normal. I think that's great, and I think people should do it. I think if someone's willing to cook and everything, and a lot of people have dietary restrictions these days, like I do, I think that's a great idea for a date. There's no stress of a restaurant. It's a lot more casual. You bring your basket, you bring your drink or whatever. I say do it, absolutely, yeah. I would do that. Let's see what Instagram has here. Would I recommend online dating? Well, I did just talk about online dating, and I would. I think it's tricky for some people because they're not used to it. I grew up on the internet. I did chat rooms and everything, messaging. I'm very different. I've heard that people in my approach and just the way I am. So I'm not sure how you're supposed to be in online dating. and I don't care. So you gotta find your own way, your own voice. There are a lot of people playing games and tricks, and they have an angle. So be careful with that, and trying to just be yourself and just connect with someone. What is a good 2-year anniversary date for someone who doesn't like crowds? Well, what do they like? I mean, that's hard to answer for someone. You've been with them for 2 years. You should know that person better than me. If I have to answer that question, what gives? Like, how come you can't answer that? Like, you should know for dating them for 2 years what they like and where you could take them and what you could do together that works. If your 2-year anniversary is in September, movie theaters are almost always empty. Well, this video is going up at the end of September, so that's already not good advice. As maybe I missed your 2-year anniversary. Maybe I'm getting you ready for your 3-year anniversary. But find out what they like to do and try to find an activity or a thing that works for them. What else we got here? How do I feel about someone that asks me out, like a confident person? Yeah. Do it. Ask me out. I love it. I'm streaming on Instagram right now. You guys have your questions ready, Instagram? You guys all left. You didn't want to do this dating advice thing with me? It's cool. It's cool. I went to go ask them for questions, and half of them left. What gives, Instagram? I don't know if this is a dating advice question, but I broke up with a toxic person. They're finding any way to contact me. Do I ignore them, or is there some way to get them to stop? Getting a message or notification during my stream and recording, well, you just have to keep ignoring them. Someone who, if they're toxic, they're not going to take any answer you give them, so you're going to have to keep ignoring them on every platform in every way possible. That's just the way it works. What else we got? Did anyone post a message on here? Oh, did I crash? I feel bad. I just shamed Instagram for leaving, and it was me. I had a technical issue. Because I was busy making a video, I didn't notice I had a problem on my thing. So someone had asked me about my worst date. I had been on a lot of bad dates. So Instagram, once you guys come up with some questions while I talk about this bad date, I'll try to eyeball over some things you have. I went on a date once that we just didn't connect at all. It was just really like we were on completely different wavelengths. We were both artistic people, but we just were clearly never going to see each other again. And it was rough because I was like, you don't want to be rejected. You don't want to be like, oh my God, like this is just, it's fine for two people to not connect, but to feel it like it felt like a waste of time. And she ended the date like with a handshake, and I was like, oh, so professional and proper. Thank you for this interview. It was an awkward date. Nothing really bad. I've never been on like a bad date, like where anything really, really bad happened. Instagram, do you have dating advice questions? As I'm wrapping up, I think I'm at the end of what I was going to talk about here. There's a few other things questions I could think about for the future. Again, if I don't get to your question, ask it, because I'll think about them. How do you talk to people when you're not social? You're going to have to learn to get social. You're going to have to learn in some way, in some environment, to talk to people. You can talk to people about nothing. You can go up to someone and be like, hey, that's a nice pair of shoes you're wearing. Do you own a lot of shoes? Because some people are usually wearing shoes. Or just talk about their clothes, or talk about the weather, and just force yourself to say stuff to them, because otherwise you won't ever get to actually talk to them and hang out with them. It's really hard, but I pushed myself to get a lot better at talking to people and just just small talk is at least talk. You have to, yeah, it's steps. You have to go from nothing to small talk to big talk, and that's just kind of the direction I went. So, see if I have more questions. I can try scrolling up. If you like someone over the internet but don't know how to reach out to them, what would you do? If they're over the internet, I probably wouldn't try to date them, because I think closeness is an important thing in dating. That long distance is a bad thing. You don't want to be with someone you can't be with, and then you're just kind of building things up to the very few times you can hang out with them. And I think it's really important to take it slow at times in a relationship and not just jump into something, especially if your opportunities to see each other are limited. Because what if you don't like the person? What if you live miles and miles away? Then you kind of hang out and you're like, this isn't for me. And everybody's great in their own way. Like, yeah, you saw something great in that person, but then you're also like, this isn't gonna work. And how do you make something? How do you go like on a third date when you can't just meet up with them, the next day? So that's tricky. Like, I would very much try to meet someone you can meet, and not try to fantasize over someone you met on the internet, unless they're nearby, in which case that's a whole nother like advice area that I'd have to get into. So let's see, any other dating advice questions. Instagram wants to ask me other questions. They're asking me about my shirt. This is the dating advice video, you guys. Be on point. Trying to scroll through. I think maybe that's it. I don't know if there's any other ones that you guys were asking. Yeah, at least one of you was like, this is off topic. It was off topic. Off topic, what's your feelings on Hot Topic? I don't think I have any good questions to wrap it up with. Unless you guys had one more dating advice question, as I'm live on Instagram doing this. I think I might not ever do this again. No, I'll totally do this again. I'm not seeing anything. This is dead air, you guys. This is dead air. There's people sitting watching this YouTube video waiting for questions, and you guys don't have questions. Wow. Thanks Instagram. I don't think I'm ever gonna rely on you guys for dating advice questions ever again. We're just gonna stick to the YouTube comments, which you guys can post, and I will look up. I hope I got to some good ones that you guys were curious about, and I hope that there's more. Okay, here's an actual question. What if you like someone but are scared to tell them, or what if they like someone else? Okay. Well, I don't think you should tell someone you like them. Like, that doesn't do anything, That's not going to lead to dating or a relationship. If it does, that's not going to be a very good one. Like, oh, you like me? I guess we're dating now. I know a lot of people that listen to this are probably very young. Like high schoolers and stuff. So let me say this. Liking someone's a good thing. Like, it's good. But just the act of liking someone's that's not enough. So you can like someone, and I think you need to just try to get to know them and ask them out, or do a thing with them, do a thing with their friends. And then over time, when you're hanging out, because then you have, you want to date. If that you just like them, but you aren't dating, you're not able to date, then there's no point. Then it's just a nice, fun butterfly feeling. So get to a point where you can do something together. Go, well, you know what? You like playing pool. I like playing pool. Why don't we go play pool together? Then there's an activity. Then there's something there. Then it's a connection that the two of you have. And you can do whatever thing you do together. And then from there, you might go, hey, I like you. And if they like someone else, well, what's that someone else doing for them? Like, that's kind of my point. Like, yeah, they might sit there and go, well, I like that person. I like Alex. Like, what do you. Sorry, Sam, but like I don't like you. I like Alex. That's not gonna happen if you're like hanging out and like getting along and like you can actually date. Like, is Alex gonna date them? No, they're gonna date Sam, who like takes them to go play pool and other fun stuff. So you want to get to the point where you can date and be in a relationship, rather than I like them, you like me, and then now what, you make out? Now you guys are getting into questions. Oh my god. Are you supposed to start as friends and then get to know each other, or know each other more and become boyfriend girlfriend? Well, in high school, I think you should just try to like hang out and be friends. If you're older, I think you can be more direct and go, "Hey, I'm interested in you. I would like to go out for a drink." And they can be more direct and go, "No, I'm not interested." I've gotten that a lot. I think in high school, the social environment's different, that you kind of can go right into boyfriend girlfriend, but I think that's dangerous too. What if someone tells you they like you and then they go off and like someone else in like a week? Oh my god, you guys. Really? That's not even... No. Just no. Just get over it. Find someone that you can actually date. Who cares who you like? Don't cry over anyone. How about this? Here's my piece of advice. If you like someone and they don't like you back, do not cry over them. There's two things you can do. You can try to get them back like a serious adult. Don't do any weird, crazy stuff to try to get them back. Be serious. Come at them with real confidence and real points and real just actual, like, you want to date them. Like, go up to them like, "Hey, I know you rejected me and you seem you're not into me, but I think we could go somewhere and do something." Like, just own it. Don't go sobbing and crying. Nobody wants that. Nobody's going to be like, "Oh my god, I hurt you because I like Sam and not Alex." Like, nobody cares, okay? But if you come out them and you're like, "Look, I know you're into them, but you're not dating them. You could be dating me. Let's go out, get some lemonade, and have some fun." Boom, right? Or you can move on. I highly, highly recommend moving on, because a lot of you probably aren't ready for the direct, confident approach. But just move on. Yeah, it sucks. It hurts. But you can find someone else. And I think that's a great thing in life. Because here's another really good piece of dating advice. You're not going to date most people. Most people don't want to date you. That's just statistics. You might meet 1,000 people, and 990 of them don't want to date you. Yeah, maybe one of those 990 you really wanted to date, but there's 10 people who do want to date you, who you know nothing about, but they want to date you. So why don't you get to know those 10 people out of those 1,000 that you weren't really looking at and paying attention to? I think dating and falling for people really is the locking eyes. Like, you're looking this way, they're looking at you, then you look over here, and now they're looking at someone else. It's all a matter of like timing. When the two of you go boom, boom, click, you meet, it works. And that doesn't happen for everybody. Most people really only get like one really good relationship in their life. So when one doesn't work out, don't sweat, because that wasn't the one you were going to get. And some people get two, some people get three, some people get none. But most people don't meet someone that they totally click and connect with. And it's rarely going to be that person you were really infatuated with from before. Get to know people. Get to know them way sooner than liking them. Because they need to get to know you. It needs to be a two-way street, where you're learning things about each other. And then as you learn about each other, you find out how compatible you are and how you guys can click and grow as a relationship. And sometimes you don't, and that's life. Is sometimes you come together and sometimes not, and you need to be ready for that. It's always hard to take a rejection from someone you're really into, but I can't give much advice there other than saying it gets easier. Sometimes it gets harder, but generally, you just gotta roll with it. Learn to roll with it, and dating can be fun. It can really be fun, and you can, once you really get the hang of like meeting people and talking to people, it's really fun, and then you can just really wonder what's wrong with you and why you're single like me. Because I date a lot, and I don't know, single for 13 years or whatever. Like, yeah. I do date me, which is another important thing to do, is date yourself. Go out and have fun completely by yourself. Because if you wouldn't hang out with you, who would? I think that's a good place to end this video. Thanks for checking it out. I will check out the questions in the comments, and thank you for hanging out with me.